Hey, what's going on, everyone? Mano back here. We're going to be talking today about the new TWAB, and we're going to be doing some other stuff like that as well. So let's go ahead and get started, everyone. Hello. We got some stuff to talk about today, chat. We got some stuff to talk about. Always some stuff to talk about. I'm actually going to zoom in this a little bit so you all can see what's going on. So they basically take the opening and be like, hey, we're recharging our batteries, the stuff that I was talking about with me earlier. They do say that they have 4 TWABs planned between you and a new fresh season of Destiny 2 content. You're hungry for what we've got planned? Yes. Rewards update, Dreaming City and the Moon. Since the launch of Beyond Light, we've been collecting what feels like a metric ton of feedback on various Destiny systems. While we've shared some plans related to rewards, basically we have new details on rewards from 2 of the most recent destinations, the Moon and the Dreaming City. Yeah, when they sunsetted everything, essentially they made the Moon and the Dreaming City completely irrelevant. There was no reason to do anything with that. The only stuff that would actually go forward is raid loot, which is fine, but most people already have that raid loot already if they've been playing the game. If you're someone new to the game, the raids are definitely something to check out, but that is something that they need to address, and a lot of people have been talking about that. So, spoke about some of the changes in gear in Season 13 in response to some feedback. Today, we're going to be talking briefly about what those changes are in the back catalog. I'm going to do a big overview of everything because it relates to another video I'm going to be making about some of the issues that they're having right now, and going through all that stuff together. So let's review a list of what we'll see starting in Season 13. Reissued Dreaming City Reverie, Dawn, and Moon Dream Bay armor. I don't hate this because my favorite armor in Destiny 2 was the Reverie Dawn armor. Like, by far was the Reverie Dawn armor. These will also drop with high stats when earned in Shattered Throne or Pit of Heresy, which I like because then that gives us a reason to do Shattered Throne. So I'm down for that. I'd like giving the dungeons like something that actually makes sense is good. The final chest in Pit of Heresy will no longer drop a fully masterwork Dreambane armor. Well, that kind of stinks. Instead, the Dreaming Bane armor will drop that will have 7 armor energy and is guaranteed to drop with at least a plus 16 in 2 different stats and higher stats overall. I will address this as well when we get through everything. Dreambane class items will not drop from the chests, so that's actually a good thing. Reissued 4 weapons for the Dreaming City with new perk pools: Waking Vigil, Sleepless, Vouchsafe, and Retold Tale. If you don't know what those are from the Dreaming City, that is the hand cannon from the Dreaming City. That is the rocket launcher, the scout rifle, particularly the high rate of fire scout, I believe. Yes. Retold Tale, which is the shotgun. So that's interesting to me. I actually like that concept. Dreaming City weapons that drop in the Shattered Throne dungeon can roll with perks that are unavailable. So again, like, I like that because at least the dungeon is going to have something to offer instead of, hey, you don't get anything for it. You know, that's actually a good thing. Reissued 4 weapons for the Moon with new perk pools. Premonition, which is from the Pit of Heresy only, which stinks because I had a god roll Premonition and it would be killer this season, but it was sunsetted. We'll talk about that in a minute. Heretic, Blasphemer, and Apostate. Weapons that drop in the Pit of Heresy can roll with perks that are unavailable from drops from other reward sources. So essentially they've made the dungeons mean something again. The older dungeons, actually, there is a reason to do them. So I'm excited because you know me, I love running in dungeons. I love dungeons. I'll do that all day. I like raids. I like dungeons. It's great. I do like that they're doing this. They're expanding the Lost Sector, Legends, and Master rotations to the 4 moon sectors. Why aren't they bringing them to the Dreaming City? Probably because the Dreaming City Lost Sectors are too small. If I were to guess, some people might be like, well, why aren't you bringing it to the Dreaming City then? They're not very difficult. I feel like the first time we've actually had Lost Sectors, like legit Lost Sectors, is with Shadowkeep. Those 4 Lost Sectors are great examples of what the Lost Sectors should have been at launch all the way through. So I'm okay with this. I'm okay with the Dreaming City not being there. They say this statement about it. We are making these changes to help preserve the relevancy of the destination, specifically some of the pinnacle endgame activities that still exist there. To get more specific around the actual experiences, activities where reissues are acquired will be heavily weighted towards rewarding reissued gear over the capped gear, though the exact weighting and mechanisms may differ. For example, in the Dreaming City, if you have already obtained an infusion capped weapon, it will not drop for you. Again, I'm going to do a sum up of all this once we're done with this. While not every gear or legendary source will be kept up to date for the entire lifetime these destinations are available, we do believe that there's high enough value in targeting some specific activity drops for continued relevancy to give you more options for where to spend time as you seek to improve your arsenal. All right, I gotta respond. Okay. I'm okay with it returning. This stuff can just go straight to the trash bin. I think this stuff looked awful. Always has, always will. I like these weapons. But this armor can just go. I'm worried that they don't have anything new. I don't think that there's anything new coming for another 3 months, or not 3 months, 3 seasons. I don't think that there's going to be anything new in this game. And they proved it to me right here. They proved it to me. They basically were like, you know what? We're going to take all of this stuff that we tossed in the trash and we're going to bring it back out, because there was a Reddit post, chat. There was a Reddit post that specifically talked about the Dreaming City and the moon are worthless now. And because of that, I think that they're going to bring these items back. I think that they made a snap decision. I want to say that was probably 2 weeks ago. I bet that they're like, you know what? You're right. Shouldn't have done it. You're right. You shouldn't have done it. Like, this is my problem with them keeping Destiny 2 around and not just jumping to Destiny 3. Now, they say they're going to have a long form guide of how everything is going to go and how there's going to be 2 franchises at Bungie. I don't think the player base can be sustained if you just keep reissuing these things. You're just going to make everyone mad. Like, it would be okay if something came back in a new way, in a new game, in a new fashion, but it's literally like, go get that weapon again, scrub, because y'all already got it once and we threw it in the trash because it wasn't good enough, but now we're going to bring it back again. And they're doing this because they need to preserve, they say that they need to preserve probably the amount of data that Destiny is. Like, they need to preserve the size that it is. This phrase worries me. While not every gear source or legendary reward will be kept up to date for the entire lifetime these destinations are available. You gonna get rid of the Dreaming City? Are you gonna get rid of the Dreaming City with the next expansion? I think that they are. Mark my words. I think that they are. I think the Dreaming City next year, just like all the other stuff, I think what they do is they bring in a new expansion. They toss the Dreaming City in the trash. I don't see, why would you say this? Why would you say that if you did not intend for that to be a thing? Now, I'm going to say this, and some people may disagree with me, but I don't, it's all right. The Dreaming City is the best destination in Destiny 2. Maybe Destiny history, although the Dreadnought is a close second. The Dreaming City was amazing. Like, the entire layout, everything. Why would you say that? I don't think that they're trying to spawn speculation at all, chat. I think that they're basically prepping us. Because to me, they're going to, I've been thinking this for a while. What they're essentially going to do is they're going to take like a 3-year-old expansion and toss it in the trash and like bring in the new things so that they can retain the size of Destiny 2. That was my issue with them sticking with Destiny 2, is because instead of just being like, this was this chunk of time, you know, everyone's going to complain about re-getting their weapons, but they're going to complain about it more if you do it a season later versus like a brand new game and like a year later, here's these new weapons, go get them again. Like, you realize that, oh my, I can only imagine Reddit right now. I can only imagine Reddit right now is just being absolutely salty like more salty than normally. All right. They're going to bring in a new subclass too, which I'm okay with, but I don't know. I don't know what to think about this, chat, because I think that it's one of those things where they could have done so much more with this. They could have modified the weapons to be like they're sort of takenified, and like now Savathun's coming. Like, why don't you add something new? I don't like it. A lot of the weapons are reskinned already, and that's okay. I don't mind that, because you can't really make pulse rifles look that much different than other pulse rifles. Like, it's just not a thing. Okay, that's like, you can't make a hand cannon or like a revolver look that much different. Okay. I wish they would have had some forethought, because essentially what they're doing is saying here, we screwed up with sunsetting, but we're not going to let you have the stuff that you had back because you already deleted it. And this is the thing, like, everyone's going to be like, we're reissuing all this stuff. Where is the new content? You say you're going to do it in a new season. Well, if you're going to do it in the same fashion as Season of the Hunt, no one's going to want it. I'm doing the Season of the Hunt stuff because it's a chore, but because I also am a completionist. Like, I'm going through and I'm doing all the stuff from the armor and all those other things like that. I don't mind them sunsetting weapons if they go away completely. I don't mind it. If you're going to do it, make a decision and stand by it. You know, if you did something like where you said sleeping vigil and you like edited the weapon so it was more takenified somehow, or had darkness infused in it, and it was a reskin, but it was takenified, how cool would that have been? How cool would that have been? Then it's like, oh sweet, there's these new weapons, they look cool, they have different perks, all these other things. I don't think that the art department at Bungie, I don't think it's that much different. Just takenify the weapons, even just a visual change. But you're literally giving us the same exact weapons with a different infusion cap, and no one is going to like that. No one is going to want to. People who are on the treadmill, on the loot treadmill, are going to go out and get the weapons. But one thing to notice, they didn't bring, what was the hand cannon from the moon, chat? What was the hand cannon from the moon? I can't remember what it is, but it would have been a 120. Loud Lullaby, that's the one. That would have been a 120. Right now, there's only one way. If you don't have a true prophecy, if you don't have a steady hand, if you don't have one of those 120 weapons, which are huge in the Crucible right now, if you don't have one of those two, the only way you can get them is from doing Iron Banner when it rolls around every month. That's it. You can't farm for it. This would have been a great way to farm for it. Like, hey, I could at least have a Loud Lullaby. It's the same thing with the Black Armory weapons, chat. It's like the Black Armory weapons were so cool, but they were essentially reskins, right? But they looked cool. They had awesome perks. Redo them. Like, just review them. Like, I don't mind as long as they have a new identity, as long as they have like a new way of looking about it. I think that would be a way better way to address it than just like, here's the weapons back, deal with it. I think this was a poor choice. I think that it was definitely, they wanted to make a decision about and I'm okay with them making the file size of Destiny smaller. They needed to, but I think they could have done it in a way that worked with the story better, that made more sense to players and felt more rewarding. And they did none of those things. They failed in those three respects. And now I'm not hating on the game. Let me be clear. I still love Destiny. And if you don't think I'm going to go out and get a complete set of this armor for all my characters, you're done drunk. Okay, except for that hood. What is the hunter hood? I don't get it. Love the Titan armor. This stuff, trash bin. See ya. Okay, next we got to talk about the other stuff. Turn in those tokens, aka they want you to get rid of all the tokens that you've been saving for your Vanguard and your Crucible. But we're starting with Crucible. The rewards for continuous ritual completion has been a subject that's come up several times as we looked for beyond the feedback, and we're happy to announce some changes coming soon to the Gambit, Crucible, and Strike reward structure. I'm going to address the rewards for continuous completion has been a subject that's come up several times. You're right, but you are not solving the correct issue. I'll address that in a second, okay? First, we'll be adding 2 new unique weapon rewards to each of these 3 playlists. So 6 total across these new 3 activities. Are they new weapons? Just stop right there. Are they new weapons? Or are they unique weapons? You notice that they said unique, not to new unique. They couldn't just say new weapons. new unique weapons. Like, I'm okay if they give us something new. That's great. But you got to make it look different. Here's a great example. Going back up to the top again. Sorry, before I ran to this. I like what they did with the Adored quest. Like, the Adored is essentially a beloved sniper rifle, but it's different. It's a little bit different, has a little bit of a different identity. That's okay. I'm down with that. There's a couple of different perks. They're locked in. That's fine. That makes sense. This does not make sense. This is lazy. This is, we're either trying to get together on content and do something different or not. And I hate to be an armchair developer, but it cannot be that difficult to put a weapon skin on. You know why I know it's not that difficult? Because you can go into the Eververse and get ornaments and pop them on like that. Just make new ornaments that go with these 4 weapon types and make it a new thing to get. It's not that difficult. It can't be. Like, I just don't see how it could be. You can make the rate of fire the same and all those other things. You're going to give it new perks anyway, right? Make it look different. Anyway, keep going on. These weapons are in addition to the ones added in Season the Hunt. Okay. And continue to have a small chance to drop at the end of every activity. Second, starting in Season 13 for Gambit and Crucible and in future season for Strikes, rank rewards will be visible on the ritual vendors. Each season, you'll be greeted by a row of rewards, progression towards which will be earned automatically as you complete relevant playlist activities. Instead of having rank rewards dropped automatically into your loop stream, they'll now be picked up manually from your vendor lists. We feel that this gives much better visibility into what you'll be earning as you progress and helps you make better choices about where to spend your time. So if you look here, there's going to be some reputation rewards. So this will be the icon for next season. This will be the, oh, that looks like the new season. Look at that, chat. You see this symbol? What is this? Do you see this? It looks almost like a little sun. It looks like a little tower. Kind of an interesting thing to check out there. It kind of has like a Native American sort of look to it, which I think kind of looks dope. But hey, you'll be able to pick up all of that stuff, and then you'll be able to get Ascendant shards. Okay. You know what would be really, hi Angel Eyes, thank you so much for the sub. You know what would be really, 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 really cool? I would love it if we had actual like rankings every season or every year, and like I knew that I got my, like there was a goal. Like that was the nice thing about the factions, is that the factions were something you could work on all the time. They were something you could work on all the time back behind the Vanguard and the Strikes and all this other stuff back in Destiny 1. And it was a way for you to kind of like maintain your rank with them and their faction reputation. That's essentially what this is. It's faction reputation. You know, they say that it's what is it? Faction rank rewards, rank instead of reputation. It's the same concept, right? And I guess to me, I'm okay with them tossing out Crucible tokens, because I've always said that the token system was one of the things that ruined Destiny 2. And I just think that this is just, I don't know, it just doesn't work. I'm okay with this. Like I'm okay with this. You'd be, you know, but it would be cool. Like it's cool. Like you can kind of like pick them up when you can, when you actually go to the vendor. You can pick them up when you choose. So like, say for example, you need something in your inventory, you can go ahead and pick it up when you want, which is great. That's fine. Maybe you don't have space for it, maybe something else. But I just feel like it could be more. And I think that the way it could be more is, again, if you give us some kind of a longer progression system so we have something to shoot for. You want to do long-term goals and short-term goals along with everything else, because there's nothing wrong with like, I'm going to hit my legend rank, whatever. But what if you had like a year long, like I'm going to shoot for this far by the end of, you know how many PvP players would go after that and want to be the best of the best of the best, even though that's just such a stupid, like, it's just a number. They are triggered by numbers. They are triggered by win-loss. They live for objective, I'm better than you. They do. In the PvP community is like, they just live that. They live for that. They want to experience things that are different. Okay. And they want to be that person that's, my number is higher than you. They live for that. Why do you think that Trials Report exists? You know, why do you think that light.gg or anything else like that exists? It's because those nerds like really enjoy getting into those things. So why not put it in the game? It's right there. Just make it so like you've got a Crucible reputation and then your rank is like your rank for the season or whatever, you know. That's an easy way to do it. But progression is on a per ritual basis. You can be on rank 10 for Crucible and rank 4 for Gambit. You reset your rank at the vendor by picking up the final reward. Rewards for each individual ritual are as follows: 3 times upgrade modules, okay. 3 times enhancement cores, okay. Seasonal ritual shader, okay. Ritual prisms, okay. Season ritual emblem, okay. Reset reward and ascendant chart, good. That's the way it should have been. And you know what? To be fair, they're essentially just taking Ascendant Nomad's video and making it like a more streamlined version of what he said. If you haven't checked him out, make sure you check him out. But that's essentially all it is. It's like Ascendant Nomad's video, but then they squished it all together and they kind of just like, yeah, okay, put it there. You'll be good. Every rank up awards a base ritual engram just like before. Additionally, each of the above ranks also awards a prime ritual engram. I don't care. Like, I just don't. Once if you're a player, once you hit like near the max cap every season, it's not that difficult to get to the next, like to get to the next progression. I don't care about these prime things. Now, some people might, but most don't. Due to this automatic progression, Crucible tokens and Crucible token gifts are no longer needed and will be depreciated into junk. I'm okay. Get rid of the tokens. I'm okay with that. But I think it could have been done better. Not bad. It's a good start. Now, I need to address the elephant in the room. The rewards for continuous ritual playlist has been a subject. No. Ritual playlist completion has been something that's come up several times. Why would you make it so that they have to experience, that we have to experience the same things that we've been doing for 3 years, except with 11 less Crucible maps, with 4 less planets for strikes? Well, how many strikes did they take away? I don't even know. I think they took away like 6 strikes, something like that. They added 1, the Glassway, and they're going to add another one here, which is fine, but it's another reissue. You know what I'm saying? It's another reissue. And if it's not markedly different than what it was back in in Destiny 1, I just don't see the point. And it's just like, here, we're just going to throw more content at you. And it's not markedly different. We're going to optimize it for Destiny 2, but it's just the same thing that it was before. It just, no, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's not that it doesn't make sense to me. It's that they're skirting the issue. The issue is, you took away content and you did not add content back in. What you're doing is you're adding in old content back in to fill the void. The problem is that no one wants to play the old content for the most part. Give us new content. There is no reason why Beyond Light should not have launched without at least 2 Crucible maps, period, and a new Gambit match. It is not that hard to make a map for Gambit. It is not. It's not. But you know why I know that? Because people have been doing that back since Halo, and they were making, I forget what the map maker was called, but that was 10 years ago. And people were making their own maps. That's not that difficult. I cannot believe that someone at a dedicated studio like Bungie cannot set aside like a day and make a Crucible map. Test it, do it again. Test it, do it again. Okay, cool. Go have some people play through it, test it. Okay. I cannot believe that that's a thing. Why isn't there a Europa map that's Gambit, like, or a PvP map? Like, it would be so good. Like, there was really good suggestions about having a PvP map up in the Deepstone Crypt area, spoilers, up on the ship. There's no reason there shouldn't be that. There's no reason. I just don't see it. It just does not make sense to me, chat. I know that they're obviously having to streamline how they do stuff, but unless if they're making something markedly different down the road, it's just easy stuff that they could be bringing back in, and the PvP community needs it. And maybe they're going to do it. Great. That's fine, man. But it just feels like such a lost opportunity, because you got a lot of ill will from the community right now. And I know that I sound like a hater, but it's because I love this game so much. And it's like when I have students and they screw up, like, I would have this conversation. I've had these conversations with them. It's like, you done goofed. You done goofed. What are you going to do to fix it? And then we have that conversation. It's like, well, I need to do this. Yeah, you do. Okay, cool. So you know what to do. Here's the path. Go ahead and do it. It's the same thing with them. Is they done goofed. I want them to succeed. I want them to be, this game should be amazing, but it's definitely always 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward with Forsaken, 2 steps back. You know, it just never seems like they're ahead of the game. They're always stumbling, and it's frustrating to see, because it doesn't take it. Why aren't you talking to members of the community? Like, really talking. Don't talk to us on Twitter. You know what? Twitter is not real people. Twitter is just a giant glory vibe. That's all it is. People are just trying to get reputation, if you want to think of it like that. They are. That's all it is. And I know Twitter's important in this world, but that's all it is. Like, talk to people. Like, actually have conversations with them. Bring them in, and you have a lot of times, and when you do, it tends to be the moments where the game is most transformative and the best that it can be. But when you don't, and you like go back into your old ways, now obviously there's coronavirus. Like, how easy would it be for you to just talk to some really prevalent members of the PvP community? Like, just get on a Skype call. Like, you don't have to even fly them. Just talk to them. They'd love to talk to you. They're thirsty to talk to you. Anyway, just saying, there's just a lot of stuff that it's a lack of communication with the fundamental group of people that play the game in the PvP community. And there are people who are like, Destiny is a PvE game only. No. PvE rejuvenates the game. PvP sustains it. And I know that some people don't agree with that, and that's fine, because some people don't play those game types. But you have to think, for the majority of the community, they'll play PvE if they have to, if they're PvP players. If they're PvE players, they'll do PvP if they want to. Right now, there is nothing left for me to do in the game. Period. Nothing left to do except do PvP. There's nothing else. I've got everything except Googly Horn, which I can't farm for other than my 3 runs of the week. If I've already got Grandmaster, I've already got the Conqueror seal. So why aren't you doing something with that? Why aren't you making gilded titles? Why aren't you doing something like that? Why don't you do that with trials? There's just so many ways you could incentivize this guy, me, to play, or even people who are more vacationer, or hobbyist gamers. There's a lot of ways to incentivize this, but they're choosing a different path, and they're trying to streamline different activities, and that's fine. It's just, it seems like it's frustrating, and it's sad because they're not taking advantage of all the opportunities that they could. That's the long story short. Taking a pass, Revenant Shatterdive. Yes, Shatterdive's gonna get nerfed. So when it gets nerfed, everyone hop on your Titan, because Titans will be broken then, okay? So they basically said, we're looking at all this stuff, all the data, and yeah, Stasis in the Shatterdive is too powerful. Yep, it surely is. Yep. Short-term goal, address outlier Stasis class to keep subclass decision-making interesting. Reduce the potency of Shatterdive and Whisper of Fissures against Guardians, going live with update 3.0.2. Shatterdive now has damage falloff versus unfrozen targets. Makes sense. There's no reason why something should be unfrozen. Now, here's the other thing. Is that if you are frozen, are you just dead? Is that the play? If that's the play still, and you freeze someone, that's fine. But if you're not frozen, that shouldn't be a thing. Max range damage reduced from 50 to 5. Yup. I mean, there were times I was on the other side of the map, or like completely like just miles away, and I would die to Shatterdive. So you might as well enjoy your Shatterdives while you can. Damage reduction during ability reduced from 50 to 25%. If someone is at like 2 ticks of health and you hit them with Shatterdive, you should be able to do it. Whisper of Fissures reduced maximum damage versus non-super players from 42 to 22 to 30 and 4. Huh. Reduced maximum damage from super players 42 to 22 to 16 and 2. So the maximum, what they're saying here is the maximum amount of damage is 42 or 30 and 16. And the minimum damage is 22, 4 and 2. Reduced detonation radius versus players from 10 meters to 9 meters. Investigate the efficacy of Stasis Titan Behemoth Super. We want to let the above change settle to see where we see Behemoth stands in our PvP hierarchy, but this is next on our radar. I mean, it'll solve the issue, but there's like, I don't understand why they don't just give Shatterdive a cooldown. You can still make this something that you can do intrinsically all the time. Like every other movement, it's a movement ability, right? It's a movement and a damage ability, which makes it really powerful. I like, for example, Icarus Dash has a cooldown once you do it twice. I still think that twice is too much. I think they should get one, because there's too many warlocks who crutch on it, and then they'll go into an engagement, they'll jump up in the air and dash, and so you'll either try and come around the corner and peek or doing something different, and they're going to be miles away, and then they just snipe you in the face. That's too strong. They need to take that subclass down a tick again. And all they really need to do is just take the movement down like maybe 5% and then reduce one of the Icarus dashes. You've solved the problem. It's not super difficult to do. When this goes live, hop on your Titans, because they're gonna be really good. The real question is how Whisper of Fissures is going to work together with how you move as a Titan. You know, because you can still skate as a Titan, go through ice. You still might be able to do a good amount of damage. Part of the other reason why it's an issue is that there's no other darkness whispers to go along with it, right? There's no other subclasses to go with it. So hi everybody, by the way, thank you for listening to me as I rant on. I'm kind of trying to make this, I'm going to probably put this up on the YouTube channel, this particular section, to be like, hey, this is just my rants. I might even make this part of the podcast I'm looking to put together. Again, stuff going on in the background. Midterm goal: improve PvP subclass usage and win rate balance. Addressing Stasis ability outliers will help us lower the ceiling, but we also want to pull up underperforming light subclasses. There's an easy way to do that. Like, this will solve this problem. This is weird. This is the objective, and this is something that's going to happen because of this. So I don't know why they are doing it like this. Those don't make sense. This is cause and effect. Like, this isn't a goal. This is the hope. This is the intended, what would you say? If you're doing an experiment, this is the predicted outcome. This isn't a goal. This is a predicted outcome, not another goal. Now, maybe that is your goal. That's good. Midterm goal: review our ability to gunplay balance in PvP. Destiny is a game both about explosive space magic moments and intrinsically satisfying gameplay. Especially in our 3v3 playlist, the usage of abilities has climbed as we introduce more and more ways to charge them quickly. We're still in very early discussions, but we're looking into restoring a better balance where proper gameplay is rewarding in these playlists. It's the meta. It's whatever you decide to do from the meta. So, and then they pat themselves on the back for, you know, making faster sandbox changes. Yep, good. I mean, nothing like nothing like patting yourself on the back when you're trying to give us a whole bunch of notes, you know? Good job, me. I did great. Good job. You know, due to all that stuff that we talked about, we were able to do this. That's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that, I suppose, but like, fix the problems first and then we'll do it. I don't feel like you need this. I would have said this instead: thanks to the changes in Destiny's 2 back. Like, it seems a little bit more like high on yourself. Instead, you can be like, we're really excited that we can bring these changes out to you a little bit faster because we've done these things. Instead of, thanks to the changes, our patch pipeline is indeed better than before. Like, it just seems like it's just so self-congratulatory. A better way to say it would have been, we're really excited that we can bring these changes out to you earlier because we've done these things. This is the reason why we did this in the long run. That would be much more of like a, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But right now it sounds like, good job, me. I did really good. Nah, you can do better. You can do better. Worldwide community. So that's kind of cool. They got some people who are going to be on the Russian side of things. That's cool. Awesome. Man, all right, so we're gonna get some updates. I'm gonna tell you when 3.0.2 comes, and that's gonna be coming next week. So next week we're gonna see that. So this is the last trials of Osiris. Like, this is the last trials where we'll have Shatterdive all over. The week afterwards, or the weeks afterwards, you're gonna see the Titan Behemoths. They're gonna be the people running the show. So if you are not on a Titan yet, you should be practicing and using your Stasis subclass. Also, if you have not gotten a chance to check out my buddy's Castle is live. He has 2 great videos on how to use the Behemoth effectively. They are videos you should be watching. Go check them out. If I put this up on YouTube, I'll link them in the description below. But Castle is live because it's got some great ways for you to think about how to move with a Titan, how to use all the behemoth subclasses. It's great. Long story short, all of this is here. Next reset, we're going to have all the maintenance taken care of, and we'll have 3.0.2. Shatterdive will be gone-ish. We'll see what happens. So these are all of the updates and things that need to be resolved. So the big things are, there are certain things with the boss kills and bounties. That's not a huge deal. A lot of it is just kind of like funky stuff. There are a couple of issues, big ones. Okay, so a couple of big things is the fact that like taking scions were replicating too rapidly in the prophecy dungeon encounters. Absolutely, that's a huge deal. The unrelenting perk was not triggering health regeneration. That's, I mean, like it's the main perk of unrelenting, so that's going to be huge. Players could get out of the environment in several maps. True. Guard of Salvation, flawless completions were not awarding the inherent triumph. The high celebrants sometimes wouldn't take damage or go to the ascendant plane. They are going to fix the exploit. So if you have not done your Sparrow run for the Deepstone Crypt raid, if you haven't done that yet and using Shelter of the Storm, go do that now, because it's about to get a whole lot harder. It's about to get a whole lot more difficult. Fixed an issue where Cloud Strike hits on Divinity Cage counted as 2 precision kills. That's the reason why Cloud Strike was so powerful, because it would hit it as 2 precision hits. So, you know, there's all those videos like, oh, Cloud Strike, best DPS of the game. That's the reason why it was bugged. Fixed an issue where the Grandfall Nightfall timer was set to 30 minutes, and fixed an issue to PlayStation 5 presenting clan rosters from launching. So, then they talk about Halo being taken offline. Essentially, halo.bungie.net is going to be offline, which is fine because they need to update that. Halo is not their property anymore. They should just give it to that in 343. Just give it to 343 Industries. That would be an easy way to do it, you know? So known issues. These are the things that still need to be adjusted, and a lot of them actually have to do with content that I've made. There's a couple of things with the high celebrant mission that are funky. Colorblind friendly is an issue too. The special finisher mod no longer unlocks for players. I did not know that bomber mods don't work with hunters who've got Dragon Shadow equipped, so that's interesting. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. No. Scrolling back down. Sorry about that, chat. The big things that I saw was the overload shot on auto rifles doesn't proc if you hold down the trigger right after loading, even though it does the overload animation. That's something that feels really bad. Let's see. Sometimes the vault encounter in the Last Wish raid won't let you read icons. That's not a huge deal because, you know, the raid isn't really that important anymore. Sometimes Riven doesn't get stunned on the 2nd level. This is a big thing for people who watch my channel. All of the stuff that has to do with the Ascendant challenges. There's all these things that are making it so Cursebreaker is unattainable right now. Like, it's just unattainable. There's Ahamkara bones missing from every Ascendant challenge. I don't know about Shattered Throne, so I can't speak to that because I haven't been able to look. All these time trials don't work. So Cursebreaker, which they did not sunset, is basically sunset. Players will sometimes go into a Nightfall with 16 people when they try loading into the tower. That's the play. That would be the way to do it. For hunters using the Way of the Warrior subclass, combination blow sometimes stops working. It doesn't give Gambler's dodge back. That's a huge deal because that's actually one of the powerful things about that. The Light of the Dawning Emblem cannot equip stat trackers. And then we've got our movies of the week. So that's everything this week, guys. My big takeaways are you're seeing the community respond to sunsetting. And I think that this is I think that they can do better. That's a good way to say it. I don't want to say that they're not working hard because obviously it's coronavirus, it's COVID. I get it. It's difficult. But it's unfortunate that they are not taking advantage of the opportunity to create an evolving world, which they said was the goal. If you reissue these weapons, they should change somehow. Well, they are changing. They're not really changing. Their identity hasn't changed. They're still the same weapons, and the only thing that's happening is you're putting them back in the game so that we can go farm them. just put a little taken stuff, like put some taken stuff on them. For the moon, Dreambane armor, maybe make it super, because especially because if you don't go out when you're facing darkness subclasses, maybe make it so like the gear, imagine this, because the whole idea is that when you got closer with some of those weapons, especially like premonition, is like some of the little chains and stuff like that would glow. That was a big thing that they talked about. I never noticed it when I was playing the game on the moon anyway, but maybe make it so any guardians using darkness subclasses, make it so that those parts of the gun glow. That was the big thing, right? Why not do something like that? That's a really cool element, something that they could add. But I just think that they can do better. I think that they can do better. And it is not a singular evolving world right now. It is a singular evolving go back in time world. No, singular go back in time world. That's what it is. You're going back in time. Okay? You're going back in time to 1985 to get whatever you want to get. That's all it is. And you're just bringing it forward. That's all it is. I'm not opposed to the new structure for how they do this, but again, I think that they can expand upon this. This is essentially just a simplified version of what Ascendant Nomad said. And Ascendant Nomad system was better anyway. Just use his system and then be like, thanks, and have him on one of your Bungie, features. That's about where I'm at. So that plus, you know, again, hop on your Titans. That's the too long didn't read, everybody. Thanks so much for listening today. I really do appreciate it. If I do put this up on YouTube, make sure you follow me over on twitch.tv/MadOdester777 because we're about to do like question and answer time right now. So I'm going to let people in chat go ahead and ask questions. So if you want to come and be part of that, come on over. I usually put this up right after the TWAB is launched. And I'm looking at doing this maybe like 2 or 3 times a week so we can continue to talk about the game and use that as a feature through podcasts and podcast apps, as well as going through and actually going through in the actual directory on YouTube. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. Good hunting. I'll see you next time in the Universe of Destiny Twitch community. It's time to ask some questions.